Camp Star is a grief camp designed for children who have experienced the death of a loved one. This morning, Ansley Watson telling us more about how these kids get this help. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. That's right. Dr. Skinzel is joining me this morning. He's the director of the camp, plus Lori Caster. And she originally went to the camp right when it started as a camper, and now you're a buddy this year.
Yes.
So we'll talk more about that in a second. But Dr. Skinzel, what is Camp Star?
Camp Star is a bereavement camp for kids held at Bay Cliff Health Camp in August. The main theme is that no child grieves alone, that when we put language onto an experience, it helps us lead us through the experience, and that it's okay to have fun even when you're grieving a loss of a loved one.
So you're looking for more kids to come this year. It's a great way right now, time to register. How would people register?
Yeah, they would go to our website and go ahead and put in an application, and we are really in need of campers this year, people who are willing to come and explore with us and to have a camp experience that I think is just one of the best experiences that you can have in a lifetime.
Now this is a summer camp, so there's fun activities that go along with some of the things that kids are dealing with as well. What are some of those activities? What could kids expect?
Well, the swimming, hiking, being out in nature are two of the big favorites for our camp experience, but there's lots of time for playing tag and just the usual relay race kind of games that go on whenever you come to camp. And just to be together is sometimes the best thing, because when we're grieving, we sometimes feel very alone. And even though we're not talking about it much with our parents, that idea that we can come together, honor the fact that we've lost someone who has died, but then we also can talk and compare notes with other kids who are our same age, who have had similar experiences.
Now, Laura Lee, as a camper, what are some of those great memories that you had whenever you went to camp?
My favorite memory would probably have to have been when we were painting. I really enjoyed painting, and then we got to bring an article of clothing of our loved one, and I got to take home a teddy bear at the end, and that probably was my favorite out of everything.
So,
just to share that little bit of item that I had left.
Right. As being a buddy, then on the other hand, being a camper and then switching to be a buddy, are there any differences or similarities of those two?
I really didn't see a difference. I just grieved the same as I did when I went as a camper, I guess. I learned just as much and not more, if not more. So.
And then being paired up with a camper and you got to speak with them about their grievances or their experiences, it's just so impactful.
Yes, yeah. It blew my mind away that there's so many kids around the UP going through what, I went through, and then just other kids too going through the same experiences, yeah.
So Dr. Skinzel, you've been involved since the very beginning. I believe you started in 2010, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you've seen a lot of kids come through, that have gone to camp, and what's that like for you on the other side of things?
Well, it's taught me a ton. To be a good doctor, you need to understand the grief experience, and so these kids have led me into my own places where I've needed to spend some time healing, and it's also taught me that there are a million different ways to go through this experience, and not one of them is wrong. It's a matter of just reconnecting to that experience and to not be afraid of it.
So camp is taking place August 11th through the 13th. Like I said, now is the time to register. How would people register again?
Go to that website and go ahead and get on and get to the camper registration and go ahead and fill it out and get it to us as soon as possible.
All right, perfect. Stay with us. We'll give you more information later in the hour. Reporting live in Marquette, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
Children who have experienced a loss in their life have the chance to attend Camp Star, which is designed to aid in the child's grief. Ansley joins us with more details on how you can attend and register. Good morning, Ansley.
Andrew, good morning. That's right. Right now is the time to register, and we'll talk more about that right now with Dr. Skinzel and Lori Caster. Good morning.
Morning.
So again, kind of summarize, what is Camp Star if people have never heard of it before?
Well, Camp Star is a bereavement camp for kids who have lost a loved one to death or a friend, where they are experiencing that grief. It could have been something that happened within the last year, or it could be something that happened many years ago, but that they still want to come and honor that person, the memory of that person, and how it's changed their life, not having that person in their life, at least at this point. Always we carry these people with us, but it's a little different than when they're alive.
You were talking to me earlier about some parents may be a little bit hesitant to send their kids to this just because it may open up, old wounds or something, but it actually helps them grow. How is that so? I
think that our experience is that once kids come to camp, they realize that there's other kids like them, that they blossom, they want to talk. It's just that they're afraid to talk in their family situation because it brings tears, and so they want to protect their family and not necessarily bring up things that they know are going to bring emotions. So we find that the kids just love having that opportunity.
Lori, I loved what you were saying earlier, how campers are never alone, and that may be the biggest struggle for them.
Yeah, when you go to camp, you may be a little bit hesitant, you're a little nervous, but then you get into the flow of things, and that's like the biggest part about camp. You're never, ever alone. What you're feeling, everybody else is feeling or has felt it before, so you're never alone, ever. And I just feel like that's the biggest part, important part.
So you first went as a camper, but now you're a buddy. How does those roles change, or what does a buddy do for a camper?
A buddy just kind of listens to the camper. When the camper wants to cry, you're just a shoulder for them to cry on. You're just someone there to support them while they need it or if they need it.
And there's so many fun activities too that kids can do, but it also is a way to get out some of those feelings as well. What are some of those activities? What's like an everyday look at camp like?
We will go hiking, and then maybe we'll go paint a photo in the orchard, or then we'll go swimming and then go to arts and crafts and make a dream catcher, just sort of back and forth.
When people go to camp, Dr. Skinzel, what you said there's this rope activity, and I really liked what you said about this rope activity. What is that all about?
Well, we have a ritual where we help them kids understand that at times the experience is feeling disconnected, where we don't feel like anyone is there for us, and we have within us, though, the ability to reconnect, and it sometimes means getting out in nature. It sometimes means talking to a friend or writing things down, doing some artwork. And so camp is trying to model these healthy behaviors that allow for a person to use language to talk about the experience rather than reacting to it. Because unfortunately, when we react to these feelings, we have a tendency to want to numb. So we might want to that's when we start getting into things like alcohol use or drug use, because these are powerful feelings, and if we're afraid of them and we try to push them down, then that creates a reactive model instead of being just responding to the feeling and saying, well, no, this is normal and I'm going to work through it, and it's going to teach me something.
What are the details of when camp is, and how can people register?
Yeah, so camp starts on August 11th. It's at Bay Cliff Health Camp. The website has all that information. If you're not sure and you just want to reach out to us, reach out through the website and ask the questions that need to be asked, and we'll get back with you and help you with any questions you have.
All right, Dr. Skinzel, Lori, thank you both so much for being with us this morning. Really appreciate it. It's a great camp. For Live in Marquette, I'm Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.